Well, welcome everybody to Access All Agents, your opportunity for a backstage pass to the real estate industry in Newcastle. And joining me, as always, is my very good friend and compatriot there, Tom. Hey, g'day, Tom. How are you?
Hey there, Rosie. Always great to be with you.
And our very special guest, Simon Wall from McGrath Estate Agents, Newcastle. G'day, Simon.
How you going, gents? Good.
Wonderful. Thanks for joining us today. Geez, I'll tell you what, there's been plenty of activity in the real estate industry of late. We've got the COVID thing up and down. It's like, but there's plenty of people out at auctions. There's plenty of people out at open homes. What's happening in your neck of the woods there, Simon?
Well, it's interesting you say that because a lot of the good quality family homes are still very popular. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, or 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. My focus there is predominantly Merewether Heights, which is a highly desirable suburb. So it'd be typical, even during COVID, for me to get over a 3 or 4 week marketing period. It'd be common for me to get 50 to 60 families to look at the home. Naturally, they're not all competing to buy the same home, which would be wonderful. It usually turns out to be 1 in 10 of those buyers are serious, motivated, wanting to buy today type people. So it's been still interesting because I was a bit unsure, like everyone, how real estate would be going for the last 3 months, but it's still been chugging along quite fine, to be honest.
So, Simon, tell us a little bit about the area, like Merewether Heights. It's right next door to where I live at Merewether. It's a great area. A lot of my friends live there as well. Just for those out of towners, tell us a little bit about what Merewether Heights is.
Yeah, it's a wonderful little suburb. There's only about 515 dwellings. It's unlike Merewether in that there's not too much developing that's gone on over the years. I think there's only probably about 12 to maybe 14 townhouses or villas. So you've got very original homes. The estate only opened in the mid-60s. So there's still homeowners there that have never actually ever sold their house. I know you boys call them Nan and Pop homes, but I call them Bobby Dazzlers. There's some bloody rippers up there, mate. You get the 3-bedroom original home, very well loved, hardwood floorboards, hardwood bearers and joists, just really well built homes. A lot of the streets, there's several streets, like particularly Berkshire, Ashford, Sunhill Drive, parts of Rembrandt that all face due north. So a great aspect. It's removed from the shops. A lot of the families that buy there love that component about the home. And I'd say probably the most common buyer is aged about 30 to 40. They're a bit adventurous. They love the Glenrock bike tracks. They've got a couple of little kids that they take and walk to the school without crossing any main roads. I wouldn't say it's a hidden secret, but I think it's terrific value for compared to parts of Merewether, which is also terrific value. But if you just can't quite afford 1.5 to 2 million, you can do yourself no harm by getting a home up there for 1.2 or 1.3. That's for sure.
I couldn't agree more, Simon, in regards to it being excellent value. And, it's only a hop, skip and a jump to Merewether and the beach. You're talking, a matter of minutes to get to all the great stuff on the coast there. But you've got Glenrock at your doorstep, your easy access to the Fernley, Pacific Highway. You can get to Westfield really quick as well. So, Tom Haigh, you weren't born in Newcastle. You're from Melbourne, right?
Well, there's actually a little secret story there, Rosie, that you may not have heard. I was actually born in Maitland Hospital, and
is that right?
the first part of my life growing up in the Hunter, and then the folks decided to make a move to Melbourne, and I spent 20 great years down there, and made the move back to Newcastle about 6 years ago now. And I guess the key driver behind that move was the same, reason that a lot of people are making similar moves at the moment for all of the lifestyle benefits that Newcastle offers. We had a great life living in the city in Melbourne, in amongst the cafes and the hustle and bustle, but starting a young family, we had a desire to be close to the coast, to eliminate the commute, and to really provide our kids with a great place to grow up with, and all of those things that Simon mentioned about Merewether Heights and Merewether and the suburbs surrounding are key fundamentals to that decision to make that move, and hence why I guess the patch that Simon operates in particular is such a highly sought after location in Newcastle.
Oh, absolutely. And that was the reason I asked, Tom, because, being somewhat from out of town, fresh eyes on Merewether Heights, I grew up here and I sort of, it's always been a place I knew, but, and especially, being so close to Glenrock as a mountain biker, as a surfer, sort of, that's where it is. But I just wanted to get your sort of view on it because I think it's a fantastic suburb to live in. And as Simon mentioned, it's really good value. So Simon, where are the buyers coming from that sort of move into Adamstown Heights?
Merewether Heights.
Merewether Heights.
Yeah, no dramas. Well, it's a real cross section. I would say probably 30. My numbers say about 30% are from Sydney. You get a lot of, but having grown up in the area, like their mum and dad still live in the suburb, so they move to Sydney. They do their uni, they get trained and upskill, and then they just want to get out of the rat race, more or less. You can't blame them. So they chug on up this way. Interestingly, I also get a lot of crossover from people moving from the Hunter Valley who are seeking a sea change, but not necessarily wanting to be down in the flat part of Merewether where there sometimes isn't as much privacy or trees and nature. So that's quite interesting. Look, there's homes I'll put on the market in Merewether Heights where I can honestly say straight away to the owner, I know he's going to buy this, and they'll come in from the Hunter Valley. That there's particular homes, Pettit and Sevitt style homes they really like, the split level homes. And then there's just the typical crossover from inland suburbs like your second or third home buyer. As I said, the most common families I sell to are aged between 30 and 40. They've bought a home at Georgetown. They've crept in a little bit to perhaps Adamstown. They've got some equity over a 10-year period, ridden a couple of growth cycles, and then they've finally got enough capital and equity to get a home into Merewether Heights. So, yeah, it's not reliant on any one area, which is fun. Yeah, hope that answers your question.
So, Simon, with that, where are the people who are selling their homes moving to?
Yeah, so most of the people I sell, I have to think back on the handful I've sold in the last month or two. One of them's downsizing to move into Cooks Hill to be closer to the shop. So it's interesting, goes full cycle. So the main reason people buy in Merewether Heights is just a bit of separation from the hustle and bustle. They're removed from shops and the riffraff and, all the things that can go on around shopping complexes. But they'll then crave that a little bit later on when they're 70 or 80 and they're wanting to be around the conveniences. The next home I think to mind, downsize, I helped an owner buy a home off market in Ocean Reach in Llewellyn Street. And it's just a perfect scenario. She had a nanny and pop house, or what I call a Bobby Dazzler, in the quarterdeck, and it lived there forever, and it was an original home, and sold that, very popular. And then I helped it downsize into an apartment, low maintenance in Merewether. So they don't like to move too far away, but probably most common reason, mate, is to get onto the flat and walking distance to the conveniences.
It really is a suburb that takes, it has the whole generational change too. You sort of, I get that. Like, when I was a youngster, I loved to live in the city and whatnot. And then I moved to Sydney, come back. I moved to Adamstown Heights, which is just a stone's throw from Merewether Heights, very similar demographic there. But it was because I wanted to be in suburbia in a nice home and have some privacy. So I can see where the appeal of, Merewether Heights is in regards to that. But I think the big benefit over, say, Adamstown Heights is you don't have to cross the Pacific Highway necessarily. You sort of, there on scenic driving, you jump on the bike or whatever the case may be, quick ride down to the beach, or if you want to go surf at Burwood. So it really is a lifestyle sort of place. And as you mentioned, Simon, a lot of people move there because they do enjoy the lifestyle. So what are some, you get people from sort of, they might come from the inner west. What are sort of some of the reactions you hear when people sort of come and have a look at one of your open homes and hear those kookaburras and birds chirping?
Yeah, well, that's the desirable, aspirational thing about houses, isn't it? That's the misconception in real estate. People think it's about the bricks and mortar, but I sometimes wish that you could lay by a house. It would really help with negotiations too, because it would encourage a buyer to get into that emotional headspace, which which is obviously what we are trying to achieve. So yeah, because then you could live in there, you could feel the sun and the birds and all those sort of things. But that's the thing. But interestingly though, Rose, sometimes for one person's positive is another person's negative. Like I've sold on Hatfield Street in particular. It's only a small street, but it's sometimes perceived as the busiest street because it's a link up through to the suburb. But it's on the sloping site and it's got lots of trees. So some families are attracted to that street, particularly because it's more entry-level price point. When I say entry-level, I'm talking probably, if you're lucky, high sevens, but anywhere up to $1 million. And if it's a significant house, a couple of hundred over $1 million. But the families will come in because they're drawn in by that price point, but then some will go away thinking, oh, I just don't want the steep block. Whereas I'll get a family moving from the Hunter Valley who go, that's everything I want because it's got the trees and the nature and all this sort of things. So it's horses for courses, and I guess it's good to have a suburb that has that variety. And also it's only a suburb back from the coastline, so you do get terrific sea breezes as well, which is nice.
Yeah, I totally agree about those sea breezes. And, I spent a fair bit of time in Merewether Heights. I love to ride my bike there through the hills on the way to Glenrock. And, I use it as I always go through Merewether Heights on my way to Westfield. And, I've got a lot of friends that live there, a lot of guys I surf with live there. So I know it's all about lifestyle there. So it's just such a nice place. And you must feel sort of really privileged to be sort of the agent of choice for around that area.
Oh my word! It's an overnight success story with me after 12 years, though I must admit. There's no shiny quick fix in real estate, which is the thing that I really love about it. I had a career change. My wife and I are both from Woolgoolga, and I followed her down like all good men do. They see the light and the lady, and I was an aged care nurse up until 2008, I think. I did that from high school to the late 20s, and then I had a career change. And what fascinated me about real estate was that it was more about people and the relationships. So I've really enjoyed that side of it. So there's homeowners now that I'm just starting to help sell that I've been talking to since 2010 and things like that. So becoming an area specialist is a bold statement in real estate, because you can sort of put yourself out there where people go, oh, well, where's all your listings or where's all your sales? So thankfully, with me, I actually am an area specialist. I do get listings and sales, but for a couple of years at the start, Rose, it wasn't always like that. I was there's some terrific agents throughout, and Newcastle, Fluky, and all the boys from Dalton's, and I've got a lot of respect for all of them. They were probably more dominant than I was then because I was just starting. But yeah, I love it. It keeps you on your toes, that's for sure. Having good competition around.
Well, the great news is, Simon, there's plenty for everybody really in Merewether Heights, because it's such an appealing area. And I think it's just a privilege to be able to help people sort of connect with that area. So a question for you now, Simon, this is the one that Tom always loves the answer to, is where do we find the value? Where are the hot spots to buy where we can get ultimate value right now in Merewether Heights?
Yeah, good question. I guess if you're looking for capital growth, most areas in the east coast of Australia will go through a good cycle, sometimes two within 10 years. So you need to be mindful of that. If you're looking for a quick fix, your value add opportunity is probably taking it from one demographic to another. And what I mean by that is you buy your Nan or Pop or your Bobby Dazzler house, which is probably a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom, simple floor plan. If you buy that type of home, you've got the opportunity to connect it, bring it, open it up, knock a few walls out, connect it to the backyard, have that entertaining space. If you've got the ability to add an extra bedroom and a bathroom, so you're bringing it from 3 bedrooms to 1 bathroom, you can pick up a home like that in the early 8s. You'll take it into a price range where it's likely to sell between 1.2 and 1.3, depending on how high the finishes are and if it has a view. A renovation like that would be a couple $100,000. You're likely to get a couple $100,000 there. But it's not a suburb that I've seen people doing that too much. I have had clients selling like that, but what happens is people typically will buy and hold in and stay for a period of time, because the main driving force for the suburb is with the 30 to 40-year-olds, they're buying primarily as well for the school zone. It's a terrific school. And as you know, when you have kids, all of a sudden this whole concept of where I take my kids to school becomes so important. I I couldn't understand it 5 years ago before I had my 3 little kids. I'm like, you've got a perfect, beautiful house and you're relocating to a whole new area. And I can completely understand it. So, yeah, the value is probably in those type of opportunities, mate, getting your original homes and making them into a family purchase.
Well, as we know, Tom Haigh from Capital Property Newcastle is a big fan of the Bobby Dazzler, the granny home where you can add value to. Tell us a little bit about your experience in that area there, Tom.
Look, Rosie, I think Simon touched on some really great points there, and you and I have probably come from a background where manufactured growth has been a bigger part of our investment strategy, and by manufactured growth, we're obviously looking for those renovation profits, and I guess that it's been popularised in terms of the flip. A lot of the media and the press around shows like The Block have really made that sort of strategy sort of pretty commonplace. But I think the strategy that Simon touched on a little bit earlier is the passive growth strategy and the value that can add long term. There's a saying, and full credit to a couple of gents out of Melbourne, great guys, Ben Kingsley and Bryce Holdaway, who run a similar property show. And I guess the guys like to talk about that capital growth doing a lot of the heavy lifting from an investment standpoint. So buying into a market, allowing the market cycles to do their thing will ultimately lead to really great outcomes in time. Now, there are some conditions, of course, associated with that. And the capital growth piece, the long-term growth piece, will only eventuate under certain conditions. And those are conditions that Merewether ticks all boxes on. And those three are, of course, demand, supply, and desirability. Now, of course, demand is there as a result of the fact that people can access high-paying income. There's plenty of jobs in Newcastle. They can afford to buy great housing. And so those people that are looking to take the next step up the property ladder, Simon mentioned them earlier, maybe they're coming in from the Hunter, coming in from an outer suburb in Newcastle and wanting to take that next step up into Merewether Heights. Definitely ticks that box. The next, of course, is supply. Now, Simon touched on this earlier in the call when he spoke about the fact that there's a very low level of development activity that's happened over time in Merewether Heights. So the supply piece has forever been limited. There are very few, and Simon, you correct me if I'm wrong here, but very few spare blocks of land in Merewether Heights. So you've got some barriers to entry there. And of course, the most fundamental piece is the emotional attachment that comes with the desirability. So 3 really important investment fundamentals there. And as I mentioned, those are certainly 3 things that Merewether Heights has certainly got going for it.
Well, Tom Haigh from Capital Property Newcastle, 10 out of 10 on your analysis there, mate. So well done. And also 10 out of 10 to Simon from McGrath Estate Agents. Fantastic to have you both on the show. Some really key insights there, and so happy to be able to get this out to the house buying public, that's for sure.
Terrific, Rosie. Thanks for having us on.
Now, just before we go, Simon, how can we get in contact with you?
Find me in the green room somewhere, man. I wish that would be the life, being able to surf like some of those local boys. Now, like I'm a real estate agent, mate, so you can Google me. My name will pop up, Simon Wall. My mobile's 0413 424 062. One of the greatest things about real estate now is transparent. You can look on the internet websites. You can click a tab that says find agents. You can type the suburb in that you're curious about, and it'll bring up the list in order of who sells the most homes around you. So usually as a buyer, I'd recommend you do that, because you'll soon find a shortcut way to finding the agents that are going to have access to the most opportunities. And most good agents specializing in an area will have a handful of opportunities off market that you may not even know about. So reach out.
Well, guys, an absolute wealth of information there. And once again, thank you so much for joining us on Access All Agents. Bye for now.